And the proof in this here is what we have recited from the Quran, right? وروى الحسن عن أبي حنيفة رحمة الله عليه أنه يأتي بلفظة المواجهة. And Imam Hassan rahmatullah narrates from Imam Hanifa that he should bring the words of address, right? يقول فيما رميتك به من الزنا. You should say, in that which I am accusing you of zina. لأنه أقطع للاحتمال, because this cuts out any possibility. So when you're saying فيما رميتك, what I'm accusing you, so you can't have in your mind he's accusing somebody else or something. You understand it? So that is definite that he's accusing her of zina, right? وجمع ذكر في الكتاب أن لفظة المغايبة إذا زمت إليها الإشارة انقطع الاحتمال. And the reason of what that Imam Quduri mentioned in the kitab is that the words of mughayaba, of absent tense, right? In other words, fima ramaha, in that which I am accusing her, in that which I am accusing her of zina, right? When indication accompanies it, then the possibility cuts off. So you're saying that which I'm accusing her and you're pointing out to her. You understand it? Right. قال وإذا التعنا لا تقع الفرقة حتى يفرق القاضي بينهما. And once they both had taken li'an, then the separation does not occur until the qazi separates between them. He needs to do a formal separation. You understand? It doesn't automatically become a separation. وقال زفر رحمه يقع بتلاعنهما. Imam Zufar Rahman says that the separation will occur automatically when they both take li'an. لأنه تثبت الحرمة المؤبتة بالحديث, because this li'an establishes forever hurmat with the hadith, right? ولنا أن ثبوت الحرمة بفوت الإمساك بالمعروف. You got before or you foot, you fawwitul. You got ya there, what? Oh. ولنا أن ثبوت الحرمة, what you got there? B or you got a ya there? You got two dots there, huh? Yeah, okay, yeah, right. ولنا أن ثبوت الحرمة يفوت الإمساك بالمعروف. Right. Our dalil is that the establishment of hurmat here now. When we say, as Imam Zufar says that the hadith establishes hurmat mu'abbada. So we say when hurmat is established, it makes loss. In other words, it makes you lose the right to hold her back with kindness. You've lost now the right to hold her back with kindness. فَيَلْزَمُ التَّصْرِيحُ بِالْإِحْسَانِ. So releasing her with kindness is now binding upon him. فَإِذَا امْتَنَعَ. So when he holds back, نَابَ الْقَاضِي مَقَابَ مَنَابَهُ. The qazi will deputize in his place دَفْعًا لِلظُّلْمِ, to repel the zulm. You understand it? So in other words, it doesn't become a dramatic separation. The separation needs to be done by the qazi, because once he doesn't, once the li'an takes place, then there's hurmat. So if there's hurmat, that means now they still married, but there's hurmat. So if you're still married and there's hurmat, you can't go close to her, she can't go close to you. So that amounts to zulm. You understand it? So therefore the qazi now steps in and he separates them. Dalla alayhi qawlu dhalika al-mula'ini inda an-nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. كذبت عليها يا رسول الله. The statement of that person who took li'an indicates towards the fact here, right? And he did this after li'an. By Nabi Akram, I have lied upon her, O Nabi Akram. So Nabi Akram فقال له أمسكها. So Nabi Akram said, take her back. You understand? Keep her. So فقال إن أمسكتها فهي طالق ثلاثا. If I keep her, then she is divorced thrice. قاله بعد اللِّئَان. He said this after li'an. So if li'an was an automatic separation and they were both already divorced, then you wouldn't have had these options of keeping you understand it? Because he did the li'an. He did the li'an. And after that now he's saying these words here. وَتَكُونُ الْفُرْقَةُ تَطْلِيقَةً بَائِنَةً عِنْدَ أَبِي حَنِيفَةَ Muhammad. and the separation will amount to a bain talaq according to tarfain. لأن فعل القاضي انتسب أو انتسب إليه كما في الإنين, because the action of the qazi is attributed to the husband, just as in the innin when he's impotent, and then the qazi now separates between them. It's as though the husband did it. So if it's as though the husband did that work, although he held back from doing it, right? So the qazi stood in his place and did it. So when the qazi did it, it's as though the husband is doing it, and when the husband does it, it amounts to a talaq bain. وَهُوَ خَاطِبٌ إِذَا أَكْذَبَ نَفْسَهُ عِنْدَهُمَا, and he can propose to her now when he rejects himself according to tarfain. So what happens now after the li'an? Now he says, I spoke lies. What did he say? I spoke lies against her. Now he can get married to her again. He can get married to her again, according to Qala Abu Yusuf. وَتَحْرِيمٌ مُؤَبَّدٌ. Imam Yusuf says it is forever hurmat. لِقَوْلِ الْمُتَلَاعِنَانِ لَا يَجْتَمِعَانِ أَبَدًا. Because of Nabi Karim's statement, the two people who took li'an, they cannot gather forever. Nasa ala ta'bid is stipulated here upon foreverness. وَلَهُمَا أَنَّ الْإِكْزَابَ رُجُوعٌ. Tarfain Zalil is that rejecting himself. When he said he spoke lies, right? That's a retraction, right? وَالشَّهَادَةُ بَعْدَ الرُّجُوعِ لَا حُكْمَ لَهَا. Right? And a shahadat after retraction, there is no ruling for it. You understand it? There is no hukam for it. Right? وَلَا يَجْتَمِعَانِ مَا دَامَ مُتَلَاعِنَيْنِ. And when you say what Imam Yusuf brought the hadith, so the hadith means, and they cannot gather as long as they are people who two people who took li'an, right? وَلَمْ يَبْقَ التَّلَاعُنُ وَلَا حُكْمُهُ بَعْدَ الْإِكْزَابِ. Right? And the li'an doesn't remain, and neither its ruling remains after he rejects himself, or he says he spoke lies. فَيَجْتَمِعَانِ, so they can gather. وَلَوْ كَانَ الْقَذَفُ بنفي الولد نفى القاضي نسبه وألحقه بأمه. And if the accusation was with the negation of the child, then the qazi will now negate the lineage of the child and he will join you up to his mother. وسورة اللعان أن يأمر الحاكم الرجل. And the method of li'an here is that the hakim will command the man فيقول أشهد بالله إني لمن الصادقين فيما رميتك به من نفي الولد. So he will say, I bear witness by Allah that I am from the truthful ones. In that I'm accusing you of the negation of the child. وَكَذَا فِي جَانِبِ الْمَرْأَةِ. The woman will say the same. وَلَوْ قَذَفَهَا بِالزِّنَا. And if he accuses her with zina, وَنَفِي الْوَلَدِ ذَكَرَ فِي اللِّعَانِ الْأَمْرَيْنِ. He will mention in the li'an both things. You understand? He said, one is he said, you made it zina and the child is not mine. Now he must mention both things in the li'an. ثم ينفي القاضي نسب الولد ويلحق بأمه. Then the qazi will negate the lineage of the child when joining up with his mother. لما روي أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نفى ولد امرأته هلال بن أمية عن هلال وألحقه بها. Because what had been narrated, that Nabi negated the child of the wife of Hilal ibn Umayyah from Hilal, and he joined the child up to her mother. ولأن المقصود من هذا اللعان نفي الولد. فَيُفَرُ عَلَيْهِ مَقْصُودُ. And because the objective of this li'an is to negate the child, so his objective will be fulfilled upon him. The whole idea the li'an took place is because he's negating the child, and he's saying this is not my child. So therefore his objective should be fulfilled. فَيَتَزَمَّنُهُ الْقَضَاءُ بِالتَّفْرِيقِ. Right. Then decision with separation is included in that nafi. So when he says I negate, the qazi says I negate this child from the father and I attach the child to the mother, that will mean also I have separated them. Automatically that means I have separated them. Right. When Abu Yusuf Rahmatullah al-Qazi yufarriqu. Right. And then there's a narration of Imam Yusuf Rahmatullah says, the qazi must also do a tafriq. Together with the negation is to do a tafriq also. وَيَقُولُ قَدْ أَلْزَمْتُهُ أُمَّهُ وَأَخْرَجْتُهُ مِنْ نَسَبِ الْأَبِي. Right, and he will say, I have binded him to his mother, and I have taken him out from the lineage of the father. لِأَنَّهُ يَنْفَكُّ عَنْهُ. Because the negation of the child is separate from the tafriq between the husband and the wife. So you need to do the two separately. You understand what Imam, this is narration from Imam Yusuf, not his mazhab, right? He's saying here that you need to do the two separately. فَلَا بُدَّ مِنْ ذِكْرِ. So it's necessary to mention it. فإن عاد الزوج وأكذب نفسه وحده القاضي لإقراره بوجوب الحد عليه. Then if the husband returns and he says, I spoke lies, then the Qazi will lash him because of his confessing with the punishment of had upon him. وحل له أن يتزوجها. And it's permissible now for him to marry her again. وهذا عندهما. And this is according to طرفين. لأنه لما حد لم يبقى أهل اللعان. فارتفع حكم المنوط به وهو التحريم. Because when he is given had, then he doesn't remain ahl of li'an anymore. Once you get had qadhaf, then you are no more ahlu shahada. You understand it? So therefore he's not ahl of li'an, right? So the ruling that has been connected with li'an is now removed. And what is that ruling? That is hurmat, wa wat tahrimu. That hurmat is now gone. وَكَذَلِكَ إِنْ قَذَفَ غَيْرَهَا فَحُدَّ بِهِ لِمَا بَيَّنَّا. Likewise, if he accused somebody, yeah, another woman, right? Then he was lashed because of it, because of what we have just mentioned now. In other words, saying now he goes after us now. Qazi separated between he goes and he go accuse another woman of zina. But he can't bring the proof. Now he has to bring proofs. Now he's getting 80 lashes. After he gets the 80 lashes, he can go and propose to his wife again. You understand? Because he's no more ahlul li'an. وَكَذَا إِذَا زَنَتْ فَحُدَّتْ لِإِنْتِفَاءِ أَهْلِيَةِ اللِّعَان مِنْ جَانِبِهَا. Likewise, if she goes after and she commits zina, then she gets hadde zina, right? Then they can get married, she and her former husband. You understand it? Why? Because of the negation of her being ahl li'an now, or the negation of the suitability of li'an from her side. وَإِذَا قَذَفَ إِمْرَأَتَهُ. Well, small or mad, because of him not being suitable to give shahadat, literally.